here on your Tuesday morning. If you've been on social media lately, you might have seen the hashtag Save Our Stages trending. It's a movement to save locally owned independent venues struggling right now to stay afloat with COVID-19 and all the restrictions in place. So here to explain live on Zoom this morning is Joanne Stock with Stambaugh Auditorium. Joanne, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
So first off, how big of a hit have some of our local venues, Stambaugh included, have they really been taking? Because they are in a much different situation than a lot of the other businesses that have been able to simply reopen as usual.
Well, absolutely. And I can speak for numbers for Stambaugh Auditorium, but all of our local venues have been closed since last March. We have not been able to put shows on our stage. In Stambaugh Auditorium, we had over 100 event cancellations since last March. And we're all in the same boat. And we think that recovery, because of the restrictions on mass gatherings in auditoriums and arenas, is going to be very slow in the arts and culture segment.
So have you guys have you had conversations with some of the other local venues? Are you guys kind of working together as much as possible to kind of bounce ideas off of each other?
Yes, absolutely. We are in constant communication with our other local partners, and we're exploring partnership opportunities such as shared services. We are at Stambaugh. We've got a lot of neat things going on with Opera Western Reserve as far as digital streaming of events, and we're looking at some partnerships with the Youngstown Symphony. So we're looking for ways to share our services, share our talents, and so that we can still present art to the community, but unfortunately they right now are not going to be able to do it in our venues.
Yeah, it's such a difficult time, especially for the indoor venues. Have you talked to any of the other ones around here? Are there any that are at risk of potentially closing or at least shutting down on a semi-permanent basis?
Well, I know that there are many that are closed right now because they can't put a show on the stage. So that is having an economic impact on the segment in general. Nationally, we're in the state of Ohio nationally, and that's why the Save Our Stages Act is so important.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the Save Our Stages Act then.
Well, it was introduced by Senator John Cornyn from Texas and Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. And what it is, it's to provide financial relief for independent venues so that to help them through this financial crisis. It would provide grant money to help them meet their expenses, because the expenses go on even though there's not a show on the stage. So we had an initiative in the state of Ohio last week, the Ohio Day of Action, and there were over 35,000 messages that were sent to the legislators on that day. So anybody can help by going to saveourstages.com. There's a fillable form on there that's very easy to fill out, and folks can just fill that out, and based on their zip code, it would go to the representative in their area so that they can help to show their support for local artists, local venues, so until we can get back on stage. But at Stambaugh Auditorium, we're working with our local health department. We're fortunate that we are able to do some small events. We have our ballroom, we have the Christmas Hall, where we can do live stream events that have been very popular for us. We just can't put shows on the stage with an audience in the concert hall. But some of the things that we're doing with the opera, there won't be anybody in the venue, but the artists will be on stage performing. And we have a great team. We have the technology at Stambaugh Auditorium to do professional quality video production, and to have it be available via YouTube, on the Facebook page, so that individuals can still enjoy the arts but not in person.
Yeah, finding a way, even if it looks a little different these days. I want to ask you too, real quick. Obviously, you guys book well in advance for a lot of the acts that you have coming in. With so much up in the air and the unknowns in the future, I mean, how difficult has that been? Have you even been able to book like into next year and everything?
Well, the industry, they're saying that bookings won't actually start until well into 2021. Because think about it from an artist standpoint, if they're trying to plan a tour, there's different restrictions in each of the states. It would be so difficult. So everything is pretty much on hold right now from a booking standpoint. But locally, what we're doing is we're working with all of these community partners to present our local arts virtually. And then also at Stambaugh, we're utilizing our venue and the hybrid technology that we have for live streaming to do events like the Chamber Fly-In is going to be coming up in September. We're doing an event this evening called the Community Matters Forum with Mahoning Valley Matters and the Business Journal. So that'll be live streamed from Stambaugh Auditorium. So we're looking at ways that we can adjust our business model to be able to still produce events somewhat within this climate that we're in right now. So it's difficult, but we've made cuts to staffing as well as expenses as much as possible. So saveourstages.com is really important for folks to help us with that, and just support your local arts organizations.
Yeah, movement with a lot of meaning behind it. Joanne, thank you so much for taking some time out and joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll keep it here. Coming up next, America's Got Talent will be down its most infamous judge for its